this is Sam. Welcome to BNS About Movies. And if you know me, you know there's nothing I love more than a mummy movie. So let's go through 3 mummy movies this week, starting with the all-new adventures of Laurel and Hardy and For Lover Mummy from 1999. How or why? Larry Harmon, who wrote this movie, may be better known to you as Bozo the Clown, is also smart. He bought the rights to Bozo from Capitol Records and franchised local Bozo shows in nearly every major U.S. market and other countries. In 1961, he went even bigger. He bought the rights to Laurel and Hardy, making a cartoon with Hanna-Barbera and performing Stan's voice. Jim McGeorge, who played Stan on Get Smart, ended up being Hardy. He also held the rights for so long that he was able to make this movie 38 years later. Co-director and co-writer with Harmon was John R. Cherry III, the former ad man who created Ernest P. Worrell and directed all of his films. When Jim Varney got too sick to make movies, he decided to make this a film with the aim of reintroducing Laurel and Hardy to a new millennium. To play Oliver Hardy, Galen Sartain, who was in the Cherry Discover comedy team of Chuck and Bobby with Bill Burge, they're also in the Ernest movies, would end up being Oliver. I love that his name is Galliard Sartain, like Dr. Sartain from the horrible Halloween movies. And for Stan Laurel, why not get Bronson Pinchot, a long way from Beverly Hills Cop by 1999?
I see you look at this base.
Yeah, I was wondering how much something like this went for.
$130,000.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, I cannot. It's serious because it's very important base.
Have you ever sold one of these?
Sold it yesterday to a collector.
Get the fuck out of here.
Serious, I said it myself.
I'm a big fan of Bronson Pinchot. I see him as someone who never got the opportunity to show what he could do. I mean, just watch True Romance to see how good he can be. Somehow this comedy team is in modern-day Florida while they protect Leslie Covington, played by Susan Danford, from a mummy who wants to destroy her father, archaeologist Henry Covington, F. Murray Abraham, also in 1999, a long way from Amadeus. Harmon also appears as the owner of Bozo World, getting all of his media into the same movie. Supposedly, the answer as to why they're in 1999 is that these characters are the great nephews of the legendary comedians. Why do they sound and act exactly like them? Why do they dress as if they came from 100 years ago? Do people know who Laurel and Hardy are in this universe? Do they have to explain this all the time, that they're the great nephews of Laurel and Hardy? Did Laurel and Hardy make love to their mothers and some act of family shame to ensure that the genes would keep passing through the holy bloodline? Are they legacy characters like the Phantom or Starman? Who's this movie for? Anyone that still cared about Oliver Hardy and Stan Laurel are probably dead. Or they'd be really upset that someone's doing a deep fake of them in real life. This movie was made in Cape Town, St. Africa. I ain't going to play Sun City. I guess that seems like the right place to set this film. Up next, we're going to give you Dawn of the Mummy, which is in my top 10 mummy movies.
Egypt, land of the pyramids. A nice place to visit.
Now on, it's going to be clear sailing all the way.
I thought of it, yeah, that's right.
But would you want to die there? Dawn of the Mummy. Saphiramun, ancient pharaoh of Egypt, has slept for 3,000 years.
A mummy in an undiscovered tomb.
Only now to be awakened by invaders searching for his forbidden treasure. Dawn of the Mummy. What terror have these young Americans brought upon themselves? How will they escape the Pharaoh's deadly wrath? His armies rising from beneath the ageless sands to avenge their master's honor.
Help me, please! Help me!
No one is safe. Nothing can stop him. There is nowhere to hide. They just keep coming. Armies of the living dead, thirsting for blood. They are everywhere, and their quest for vengeance knows no limits. can try to stop them. But you can't escape from the dawn of the mummy.
There are plenty of mummies to choose from, but it's also a Section 3 video nasty. Dawn of the Mummy was directed by Farouk Frank Agrama. I mean, if you have someone named Farouk, they should either be in the Acolytes, or there's a wrestling joke, or make this movie about mummies. He was also behind the camera for one of the worst movies I've ever seen, Queen Kong, an abysmal King Kong parody. He'd go on to form Harmony Gold, the same people who redubbed Maycross, Southern Cross, and Genderson's Climber Mosquito and turned them into Robotech. If you don't know what that is, you probably got laid in high school. After that, he'd later be convinced of buying and selling the film rights and inflated prices in a scandal that also brought down former Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. Agrama would have gone to jail if he wasn't 82 years old. Luckily, he was later exonerated. Dawn of the Mummy, shot in Egypt with a mostly Italian crew, which allows it to transcend what it should be and emerge with a second half of the film filled with mayhem, as these mummies are not content to just shabble around. They're closer to zombies that feast on the blood of the living. This movie is Zombie, by the way, the Fulci movie. It is so close to Zombie. But we start in ancient Egypt, where young villagers are taken to be servants of the pharaoh Seraframa in the next life. As we watch his body get prepped for the next world, they're killed with poison gas, and the entrance to the tomb is sealed. Then the high priestess places a curse, declaring he who enters this tomb after it's sealed will die on the dawn of the mummy. By the way, if you watch movies with me, know that anytime the title of a movie is said within a dialogue, I scream and yell as if Pee Wee Herman just said the secret word. Dawn of the Mummy.
Good screaming, everybody.
We then fast forward to the present, where the high priestess, now an ancient crone, chases off grave robbers. They're persistent, however. Even in the face of poison gas, I would assume that today's people were used to smog and stuff, so poison gas isn't going to kill us. But they do die, and then there's a fashion shoot in the desert, and a model ends up tripping over one of their severed heads. Yes, if you picked a bloodless mummy movie affair, if you thought that's what this is, nope, this is scuzzy. One of the grave robbers, Rick, survived the film that goes into he and his henchmen following the fashion shoot into the Chris Pyramid. You may always wondered, how would a pharaoh react to disco and voguing? This is a movie that answers that question. The photographers bring their lighting into the pharaoh's burial chamber. Horrible idea, which begins to wake him. Then someone spills a bowl filled with his organs and burns her hands. Thanks to the blood of the mummy, this sends a torrent of zombie-like mummies into the streets, taking it to the streets.
You don't know me, but I'm your brother. I was raised here in this living hell. You don't know my kind in your world. Fairly soon, the time will tell. Oh, you, telling me the things you're gonna do for me. I ain't blind, and I don't like what I think I see. Taking it to the streets. Taking it to the streets. Taking it to the streets. No more need for running. Taking it to the streets.
Numerous explosions later are heroes such as they are, they're all idiots. Celebrate, even though the pharaoh's still alive. This movie was remade in 2015 as Prisoners of the Sun with Joss Ackland and John Rhys Davies, directed by Roger Christian, who of course also brought us Battlefield Earth. Guess what? This is a million times better than that. Finally, my third and probably the best film, The Mummy Theme Park from 2000, directed by Alvaro Passeri. If you wondered, will we ever run out of berserk Italian movies, especially as the 90s give way to the 2000s? Nope.
They devour and destroy your enemy.
Terrible death will befall any who dares to profane his glorious reign by
photograph. Daniel, you're here to present my creation to the world. The Mummy Theme Park. The most original tourist attraction ever thought up by man.
The Mummy theme park is one of the most baffling, weird, wonderful, and just plain strange films I've ever seen. Passeri only directed 5 movies. Plankton, Flight to Hell, The Golden Grain, Psycho Vision, and this. His animation skills are very handy here because this is a movie that sees its low budget and says, can we do some more? Passeri did animation and effects on Cinema Paradiso, The Shark Hunter, The Wild Beast, Atlantis Interceptors, so many more. Anyway, an earthquake reveals the underground city of the dead in Egypt, and Sheikh Al-Said gets a somewhat bright and probably dumb idea. Take all the mummies and fit them with animatronics and turn them into a Jurassic Park in the sands. He wants it to be a big deal, so he calls over Daniel Flynn, a photographer, and his coworker Julie to take pictures of the place, which as far as I can tell is just one room with mirrors and miniatures and in-camera and in-post special effects working as hard as they can, and then some, to make this movie look bigger than it is while also looking cheap while also being charming. It's neon, it's glitter, it's robot mummies, it's insane, it's the Mummy theme park, and yet this isn't a movie made goofy on purpose. It's deliriously sure of itself and also yet unaware of itself at the same time. That combo, that's what I love. Can the flash of a camera bring mummies back to life? I mean, we already proved that in the last movie. Are women's breasts the only thing that can stop a mummy? Will more heads get torn off? Will someone puke up everything in their body? Can a chase scene really go on forever? Will there be long scenes of fashion that pad the running time? What is it with fashion and mummies? Will there be a model train that goes through a sphinx and out a mummy's mouth? Is there also an evil sorceress? Will the Sheik's harem fight against one another? Will also one of them just happen to be a hologram? Will there be a souvenir shop that sells pharaohs' heads that spit out beer? Yes, all of these things. I mean, this is the kind of movie where a dude gets his head sliced in half and the results look like one of those cutaway pages in old encyclopedias, like the cell animated ones you'd flip through and see all the cross sections of someone's head. It's a perfect movie. Look, I'm still processing it years later. I keep reading reviews laughing about how cheap it is, and you should be so lucky to have this movie in your lives. I could watch the Mummy theme park at any time. Actually, any Mummy movie. I struggle because like I've done so many on here, and I'm like, did I already do that Mummy movie? I'm all wrapped up in bandages. Thanks for listening.